Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another video in the Sustainable Fashion 101 series. Today's video is all about Louis Vuitton. If you are new, welcome. My name is Jessica, also known as Chicprofessor on Instagram, and I make videos on luxury goods, sustainable fashion, and workwear. I would love to have you stick around and subscribe if you have not already. So with Louis Vuitton, it's hard to say that they are not one of the largest companies and certainly largest luxury companies in the world. They absolutely are. And they are the highest selling. Every year they make the most amount of profit. They sell the most amount of goods. They are kind of the most well-known, I would say, luxury fashion brand. And a lot of people have a little piece of Louis. So I know a lot of people will really care about Louis Vuitton and maybe very curious about the sustainability of it. So let's get into what they're doing well and maybe what they could be doing a little bit better. So Louis Vuitton is part of LVMH. That is their company that they are part of. And the LV is for Louis Vuitton, and I think it's Moet Hennessy. And LVMH are trying to make some really good sustainable choices. So I'm going to start this by just listing off a whole bunch of things that Louis Vuitton and sometimes LVMH in general have been doing. And so one of the first things is they joined UNESCO in a 5-year pledge to help with biodiversity. Since 2012, they have been trying to trace all of their supplies. And since 2014, they have been auditing their carbon footprint. So they've definitely been working longer than many of these other companies have. They're trying to reduce pollution as well as waste. And by 2020, they are hoping to reduce their energy consumption by 25%. So we'll see if they reach that goal this year. They're part of the LVMH Carbon Fund. They're investing in energy efficiency and eco-friendly tech to help with that aspect. They are also investing in their packaging and trying to make that as environmentally friendly as possible. They have waste reduction and recycling programs. They are trying to get 70% of their tanneries, of their leather tanneries, to be certified. That is their goal, and that is also a goal they're trying to reach by this year. As I said before, they're working on their traceability of their materials, but they're also working on the traceability of their supply chain, though this is not fully published, so it could be a little bit more transparent, especially because they do say they want to be auditing it for labor infractions, and so if they're not being transparent about it, then we don't know if they are actually choosing good suppliers and making ethical and sustainable choices with that, and if the audits are actually working. I don't know how much you all know about auditing, but a lot of times companies will say they're coming to audit that day. So that day, magically, everything is really clean and working really well. But unless they're doing surprise audits, you really don't know that they're running their practice like that on an everyday basis. They're seeking alternatives to raw materials. They're looking for things that are going to be the quality that they want it to be, but also have an environmental impact that is a little bit less. But they do just kind of in general stress that they create quality products that are meant to last for decades, and they stress that they will repair those products so that you can constantly use this same product, which is absolutely true. I would say Louis Vuitton is one of the best luxury brands for repairs, and they do encourage that. So that is a really nice aspect, because instead of just buying something new and throwing something out, right, you can repair it to make it be as great as possible because it was something that was built to last. So in terms of issues, right, as I said, the traceability of their supply chain is definitely a big deal. They do still use exotic skins. 70% of their leather tanneries is great, but it would be really nice if it was 100, because we know that the tanneries that are not certified usually have pretty terrible ethics. There's still 30% that are not, which definitely leaves a lot of questions of the ethical implications of that. They also still use a lot of toxic chemicals in their processing, and they still use a lot of labor in unregulated countries. So not only are the audits maybe not happening with a surprise, or we just don't know because it's not transparent, but they also are choosing to produce in countries that have less regulations, which of course there can be wonderful factories in these countries, but again, we don't know which ones it is, so it's just hard to know one way or the other. So a lot of their issues come from being transparent, but they are doing a ton of really good stuff. I would say they're definitely not like the top, but LVMH in general is a pretty good company who is working towards sustainability. Now that Stella McCartney left Kering and joined LVMH, I think that that might put a little bit more pressure on LVMH to make some really good choices in the future. So I'm curious to see what happens with that. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video. And if you did, please share it with somebody. Spread the knowledge, make us all educated.